Thank you to Kenzie Bruce for his incredibly generous support on Patreon. Hello all, bringing you something a little bit different today. This is some Magic Arena content because I'm thinking of setting up a Magic Arena channel, and I thought I'd give you all a little taster for those of you that would like to follow me from here over to a second channel, a Magic Arena channel. I think I'll just be starting off with Historic Brawl because that is my favourite format and it's as close to Commander as you can get, but as my collection grows I'll be able to get into Historic and Standard and stuff like that, so if it's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments and I'll be looking to set up that channel fairly soon. But for now, as a little taster like I said, we've got a Historic Brawl deck in Koma Cosmos Serpent. Just pulled this in a booster pack, decided to make a historic deck around it and it's actually been quite successful. So pretty much the gist of the deck is to ramp like crazy. So we've got rocks and mana dorks, growth spiral, means of enchanting our lands with auras to get more mana. I mean every means of making mana. We've got Kenrith's Transformation and Frogify, which are really good means of removal that don't seem to be used all that much. So those are in there as well, a means of making our bigger creatures that we want to cast uncounterable. The Koma is uncounterable, but sometimes we'll want to get down something like Elder Gargaroth, or what's the other one? There's Questing Beast as well. Is it just green creatures on that? It is. Creatures can't be countered, so it'll even include the Serpent of Yawning Depths, which is absolutely relevant in this deck. That makes all the tokens, the commander, and itself unblockable, and that's relevant more times than you realise. And then speaking of big creatures, we've got Kogler to remove creatures, enchantments and artifacts. And other than that, it is pretty much Simic good stuff. We ramp like crazy, we draw cards with things like Graven Lore, the single reason that we have snow basics in the deck. Yeah, drawing cards with Return of the Wild Speaker because we'll hopefully have big creatures in play. More removal in things like Dungeon Geist, and then that can push damage through as well. Yeah, not all that much to say about it really. Ugin is the only board wipe in the deck. Brawl is a 60 card format for those of you that don't know. Scoot Swarm is in there really to eat removal, and eat removal it does, but if we can land it and keep it around for long enough, then it will become relevant, especially with something like Return of the Wild Speaker. I've gotten a few overrun wins with that without even using Koma. So yeah, with that said, I think pretty simple deck tech, we should just get on with the video itself. Okay, so in the first game we are up against Vorinclex Monstrous Raider, which I dare say they'll ramp into that themselves. So I like the Frogify, but we really want to be getting into ramp, so we'll take the free mulligan, and that is very ramp intensive. We'll try and keep the Seagate Restoration, but I imagine we're going to empty our hands, so yeah, now I'm looking at it, we actually don't have any green mana there, do we? Yeah, I'm going to have to mulligan that because we are on the play. If we were on the draw, I might have risked that one. We'll keep there. And we'll put Graven Lore on the bottom. We'll be able to shuffle that back around with the Fabled Passage. They start the turn off with Leyline of Abundance. Whenever you tap a creature for mana, it adds an additional green. We'll get the tap land out of the way with Fabled Passage. We'll be able to make blue with the Midnight Clock, so I'll make an additional green with that. And then we get into another green anyway. So let's go Wolf Willow Haven. And they have a turn 2 play in Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot. We'll just slam down the Midnight Clock here and start getting counters on that thing. Now sacrificing the puzzle knot, they get some energy and 3 life. I'm not sure what you really do with energy in this format. I haven't seen anyone play it thus far. Yeah, I think I'm okay just slamming down the Kogler here and starting to hit our opponent with it. So it's arguably a bit of a waste using that and not getting the fight out of it. But I'm okay starting to crash in towards our opponent. Migration Path takes them into their commander next turn. But we've got Frogify and the Dungeon Geist for it. So let's swing in with Kogler and get rid of the ley line, which they didn't make use of anyway. And it's Migration Path so that we can get into our commander next turn. And there's the Vorinclex. And cracking their own Fabled Passage. And they decide to hit us. So I'm wondering if we go Koma and try not to worry about the plus counters with the Vorinclex. Let's swing in with Kogler first. Yeah, I'm going to play it safe here because we're in a good position anyway. Let's go for Frogify and see if they point the removal at Frogify as opposed to the Midnight Clock. I would like this to go off. Play out a tap, land and pass. Could have gone for the Dungeon Geist to tap this down, but the Frogify removes the abilities, which is why it's so good. There's a Vastwood Surge, and that is kicked, so they don't get the double counters from that. That would have been a 10-10 Vorinclex. But instead it's only a 3-3, which is obviously a massive difference. So now I think it's safe to go for the Koma. And we'll continue to wail on our opponent. Need to remember to put a counter on the Midnight Clock because there's nothing else we're doing with that 3 mana. Turntimber Symbiosis. Look at the top 7 cards. Creature from amongst them onto the battlefield that costs 3 or less. Enters with 3 additional plus counters on it, which would have been 6. And Iron Scale Hydra is really good. I've played that in Brawl a few times. But we'll be able to tap that down with the Dungeon Geists. As well as our commander, obviously. Okay, Shadow Spear's nice as well. Let's tap down that Hydra so it's not getting plus counters on it. And then we'll get Trample on the Koma as well. And we should be drawing into a fresh grip next turn. But I'm pretty sure we've got our opponent here. Should have exactly enough, and we do. So that was a pretty commanding one as it turned out. We were going to go up to an 11th counter on the Midnight Clock on our opponent's turn, and then the 12th one on ours. We would have shuffled everything around and drawn a fresh grip of 7. So yeah, pretty commanding one like I said. Let's get on with another one. And we're up against the Gitrog monster this time. That is a frightening commander apparently in this format. I haven't seen it yet myself. We've got some decent ramp there, so we'll just have to try and out-ramp the other ramp player. They are on the play, we're on the draw. We get into the Hydroid Krasis. Just throw down a land and pass. And they've got a Skull Prophet, which will tap down for mana. We'll throw in Command Tower and the Arcane Signet. Binding of the Titans. Each player mills 3 cards. And then they can exile 2 cards from graveyards and gain life for the creatures. Return a creature or land from graveyard's hand on the 3rd iteration. We are going for... I think I want to go Migration Path. Get up to our commander as soon as we can, but I want to get Vivien going as well to really pressure our opponent. Noteworthy that they've got a Millstone into play as well. So let's go for Migration Path. We're going to have to forego the Scoot Swarm, I'm afraid. And a Storev. That has Trample, doesn't have Death Touch though. Yeah, so I think Vivien can survive if this thing comes in. We chump block that thing. Or maybe we just go Koma. Are they going to have removal? They've got 3 cards in hand. Oh, actually this is a tap land, so we can't do that anyway. Yeah, let's just go for the Vivien here. And we'll plus giving it Vigilance. That's likely going to die anyway. They do have a Lotus Cobra in the bin, so it's likely they'll grab that back here. And that's exactly what they do. Going straight into Lotus Cobra. Playing a land, so they've got 3 mana available, 4 if you include the Skull Prophet. And that is Wilderness Reclamation. We'll just block the Storev to keep our Vivien in play. Was a gamble there because we could either have taken this away from them and lost the Vivien due to the trample, or they were just going to swing in with this, and luckily that paid off for us. Search our library, I could just do that. We've got a land on top, so yeah, I think we have to do that here. We'll lose the Vivien and go in for Koma.
I hope things get out of hand.
They go for the Millstone to try and take creatures away from us. I think Serpent of Yawning Depths would be good. Kogler against the 5/4, or even the Lotus Cobra might be good as well. Yeah, they can get it back with that is the only thing. If they can shove enough damage through. Yeah, I think I just want the Kogler here. We'll get rid of Lotus Cobra. Alright, and that was enough to end it for them, so they don't fancy their odds of dealing with the Koma, which so often happens with this deck. People just scoop as soon as they see the Koma and don't fancy their odds of getting rid of it. So we'll try again and see if we can get a complete game this time. Alright, this time up against Elenda the Dusk Rose, and again we don't have ramp to start off with. It's pretty slow. Going for Gift of Paradise, we only get 1 extra mana from that as well. I think I want a free mulligan here. Okay, we've got a bit more ramp there, we've got some control as well, so I'll keep that one. And I think Elenda is when she dies as opposed to when it leaves the battlefield. Yes, it's when she dies, so that might be relevant with the Brazen Borrower. Let's get a land into play. We've also got Frogify now, which is really good with the Elenda. And they go for Vampire. So this is a Vampire tribal deck, I'm guessing, because Unclaimed Territory named Vampire as well. Yeah, we're just holding up the Brazen Borrower and the Frogify. Doubt we're going to use the Brazen Borrower. Actually, I just said Frogify, we can't do that at instant speed, so we're holding up the Brazen Borrower. Hit for 2 by the Lieutenant. And that's Command Tower. We'll start getting some counters again onto the Midnight Clock. We've already seen how relevant that can be to get it out early. The only thing is, along with the auras, it's a little bit of a numbo with Ugin if we have to minus down on it, but it's usually worth it to minus down. If we're minusing Ugin, then it's because we're desperate. They throw down their Elender, the Duskgrow, so I am happy to go for the Frogify on that, or maybe we just concentrate on ramping here. Yeah, let's ramp instead. We only care about getting rid of the Elender once it's got plus counters on it, so we'll have to hope that they don't get Hexproof on there. There's a Twilight Prophet. We are down to 17. So let's play the Island. And I think it's Dungeon Geist onto... Do we just want to bounce the Twilight Prophet to make them recast it? Well, we're going Frogify onto Elender. I found that with Elender you want to just make a generic token build as opposed to vampires. She's nowhere near as good in Vampire Tribal, I found. Let's get down the Arcane Signet. And yeah, I think it's Brazen Borrower. Or Petty Theft even. We'll bounce the Twilight Prophet so that they don't get an extra card. And then we'll probably just go for Brazen Borrower at the end of our opponent's turn. Next turn we're probably looking at Koma. Playing the Twilight Prophet again. And they continue to swing in with both. We'll go Brazen Borrower, but I'm not going to block here. Oh, we actually can't block because... yeah, it can only block creatures with flying anyway. Hydroid Krasis is good. Let's just go for the Koma and start giving our opponent a headache with that. Might have to chump with the Brazen Borrower onto the Twilight Prophet, although we could always tap it down. I'd rather keep a Serpent in place so that we can give this indestructible if we need to. We might get out aggroed here. Our opponent is still in a lot of cards. Alright, destroying a target non-legendary creature. So I'm assuming that they're looking to get their flyer through here. Just swinging in with the Twilight Prophet. Okay, so if we go for Return of the Wild Speaker, we'll have a bunch of cards in hand. Can we use them all by the time Midnight Clock triggers? We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 if we get an untapped land, so maybe Dungeon Geist after that. Yeah, let's go for that. Okay, Elder Gargaroth is a means of gaining life. I think we just go for the Dungeon Geist here. Let's swing in with both. They're happy to lose their Elender, so I'm happy for them to recast that again next turn. because I don't think they're going to do much of anything with it, judging on what I've seen so far. I think the only thing we really want to do next turn is get down Elder Gargaroth and start gaining a little bit of life with that. Chromatic Lantern. So not replaying their commander. Oh, they couldn't have afforded it. They're missing lands, unfortunately. Going to use their Legion Lieutenant to chump block, I imagine. Yeah, we could sacrifice a Summoning Six Serpent and tap that down so that they can't resist the 6 damage that's coming through. Yeah, let's just play the Forest here. Tap down the Lord. And we'll turn everything sideways. Then it's Elder Gargaroth. So I don't mind blocking with that because it'll gain us some life, like I said. And we'll just get a flying blocker in the way as well. And might as well just get down the Destiny Spinner as a means of trying to go wide on them. But I don't think there's anything they're going to do here. We're going to shuffle everything back and draw a fresh grip of 7 with the Midnight Clock again anyway. So we might as well get those things into play. There is a Kaya's Wrath. So that blows everything up. And... oh, I thought that was Exile. Oh, it's Destroy. Because it's white, I thought it was Exile, so we should have kept our Koma in play there. That's a stupid mistake. Yes, we'll put that in the command zone. Midnight Clock gets us a fresh grip. And then we just slam down our Koma again, I think. Let's foretell the Behold the Multiverse. We have a means of giving trample to all of our stuff with Garrick's Uprising. No Priest of Oblivion, Menace and Lifelink. Might leave them around for an extra turn. And they have kicked that. So they get their... didn't even realise that was in the bin, so they get a lender back. Okay, so should have been swinging in with Koma last turn, but I think we've got this one anyway. Let's get rid of the Null Priest of Oblivion with the Kogler. And then we can go +3/+3 on all of our stuff. Tap down the Elender by sacrificing that. And then swing through for lethal. So yeah, probably should have had it a turn sooner there if it wasn't for my lapse in concentration, but I think that was another fairly commanding one. And how much time have we been playing for? Yeah, I think we're okay to get one more in, and we'll really try and show off the deck as best we can. Try not to make a mistake this time. And we've got some mana on turn 2. That means we've got a total of 4 mana by turn 3, so we can be looking at getting into Vivian. Yeah, we'll keep that. It's not the best, but we'll keep it. Up against Aura, Skyclave, Aerophant. And we'll get into a green source with Evolving Wilds. Don't have one yet. They shot themselves into Speaker of the Heavens. We'll throw down another forest. We can chump a bit of damage, but they'll still be gaining life with the Speaker of the Heavens. We want to not see them get to 32 life with that, because we start at 25 in Brawl. Well, there's some more life gain in Impassioned Orator. So already looking forward to a board wipe. Getting into a bunch of lands on the top. So this is a good time to go for Garrick's Uprising. It'll give trample to our stuff. Yeah, that's fair enough. Let's block 2 damage there. They've got themselves into Skyclave Cleric, which is enters, gain 2 life for 1/3. They're at 28 already. So let's go for Vivian. And we'll make a Vigilance creature that we can hopefully start giving them a headache with.
I love Victoria. Every day is a new mutation.
A Prism Realm goes on the Vivian most likely.
Beaten, but not extinct.
But we can still encourage them to block or take damage with that 3/3 beast. Yeah, I don't know if they're swinging here. They are not. Got 6 mana available to us here. I think it's Lotus Cobra. Play a land for the turn. Not going to use the mana, but we can use the Lotus Cobra to get Koma out next turn. And even if we lose Lotus Cobra, we can get it back out. Yeah, let's just swing in with our Vigilance 3/3. And that knocks them further away from that 32 life, which is excellent. Bake into a Pie gets rid of the Beast token. Again, that's fine. And now they're offering up the trade for the Lotus Cobra. It's actually tempting, but we'll leave it in play for now, because we're going to get down Koma next turn. And yeah, once we play Koma, we can go Vastwood Surge, maybe Return of the Wild Speaker, refills our hand, make a bunch of mana, play everything. So yeah, let's just go like this. Draw a card, get into Solemn. And we will... yeah, we can't do anything else, so we'll leave it there. They could respond here. They're looking at everything. Yeah, they can exile, so we wouldn't have been able to dodge even if we did get the Serpent there. And this time they don't fancy offering up the trade. So how's about we ramp like crazy here? Can they gain 4 life next turn? Yeah, I don't think so. Let's just ramp. Yeah, I'm not entirely against going for Kenrith's transformation onto that Speaker of the Heavens. Am I really worried about their aura? Yeah, I'm going to play it really safe and get rid of this thing just so we're not worried about angels. Draws us a card as well. Gets us into a really good one as well. That is Serpent of Yawning Depths. And there's their commander. Passing it over straight away. We could go in for Kogler. I think I'd rather encourage them to have some removal. Or do I? Yeah, let's get rid of their commander here, and then we can swing in with Kogler next turn and get our Vivian back. And draw a card. because that's a big creature. And we can actually go Return of the Wild Speaker on our opponent's turn as well. Don't think we're going to be relying on Midnight Clock for lots of card draw. Yeah, so we'll just leave it there. They are at the 32 life. So if they can remove the Kenrith's transformation, they might want to do that. Demonic Embrace. +3, +1 and flying. Demon in addition to its other types. So that makes that a 6/4. They're going to try and outrace us by the looks of it. But we'll be able to tap that down with our commander. Let's draw cards equal to the greatest number on non-human power, which is 7. And at this point, I don't think it really matters. Let's just go like that. I think we can go Migration Path here. 5, yeah, I'm sure we can do that. Might as well just go Migration Path. Only a few basics left. And then we'll drop down the Koma. I suppose we could have gone for the attack first, got rid of this, got the Vivian into play, -2, and then cast the Koma, but we've got a lot of cards in hand anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Swing in with Kogler. Blow up the Prism Realm.
I speak for the wilds, unbowed and unknown.
And then we're holding up Brazen Borrower, I think. Oh, actually, we want to plus on Vivian, of course. Let's go for the Reach, just so that we can chump block that big 6/4 flyer.
We will adapt to any threat.
Speaker of the Heavens goes in towards Vivian. That's why we made the Reacher. We'll just chump. And then we could knock the aura off this. Okay, destroy all non-giant creatures. So we definitely sacrifice a serpent here. Unlike what I did with the last board wipe. And then that is a permanent and opponent control, so we're not going to make use of that. Let's just let the board go here. We draw a card with the Solemn Simulacrum. And our opponent scoops, that's fair enough. We've still got the Koma in play. Still got a grip full of cards. We just play out our hand onto the board next turn. Probably, I imagine we just went for Ugin. And if we could have afforded it, Questing Beast to really start laying damage on our opponent. Maybe hold up, saw it coming as well. Yeah, it's difficult to keep track of your mana sometimes on Magic Online. Or Magic Arena even. You can tell I've been playing Magic Online for a number of years now. Anyway, be sure to follow me over to the new channel. Once I get that up and running, I'll be sure to let you all know when that is ready. Magic Arena content, it'll be Brawl. Brawl Historic mainly, if they make Brawl Historic something that occurs more often. Standard, Historic, the 60 card formats on Magic Arena basically. I don't want to flood this channel with it because I know people don't like it on this channel. So I'll make the other channel and hopefully you will all join me on there. I'm tribalkai on the eedi-H channel. Thank you for watching.